Hello everyone, my name is Elaine, and I want to welcome you to my Advanced Unison League Soldier's Guide. When last we spoke about the Soldier class, I explained the class's basic build, gave you some ability set suggestions for the first 3 rings, and some other helpful tips for beginners. Today, I'm going to pick up right where I left off and give you guys some advice for the class's latter 3 rings using the same format as the beginner's video, suggesting ability sets for every situation you might find yourselves in. Now let's jump into it. We're going to talk about the abilities you should equip. Please note that these are just suggestions and other sets may work better for you depending on your needs and those of your allies. The weapons you equip may also grant boosts and bonuses to certain moves, making them a better choice for you, so please keep this in mind. Last time, in our Unison League discussion, we ended with the Paladin, 3rd ring. For PvE, I suggested EE if you're running low on cost a lot, or Heaven's Breath or Holy Guard. These moves should fill your first 2 slots, then Fateful Smash and Deadly Clash. For PvP, the same as PvE with a potential cheer swap, and for Colo, everything the same but guard in place of EE. Okay, for Serial now, the latter Soldier rings. The General, the 4th ring. For PvE, so things like normal quests, I would keep EE if you have it or add it if you don't. Then I'd update Fateful Smash with Divine Smash, which has an ability power of 160. It damages one enemy with physical damage that uses both physical attack and defense. Its added effect is that it blinds the target for 10 seconds with a success value of 60 points. I like this ability because it has a low cooldown of 6 seconds and a lower end median cost of 12. Although it has a 10-point ability power drop over the previous iteration, it still has solid attack power, which uses your on-class stats, which you should be building steadily with your gear. The reason I swapped this ability in choosing it over Fateful Smash is because of its added effect. Blinding your enemies can be extremely helpful because it makes it harder for them to hit you. This can get you out of a bind in a pinch if you're running low on HP in either guild battle or quests, for example. I'd keep Deadly Clash for now and bring Heaven's Breath to make you a bit tankier since you're still probably fairly early on in your game and probably still a tad squishy. For PvP, things like guild battles, I would bring the same with a potential cheer swap. You may also want to consider bringing Charisma if your guild uses a cheer strat. Charisma fills the Unison gauge by 5 for all allies, excluding yourself, and casts a 20-second effect that has a 10% chance to ignore all physical and magic damage. Its added effect is that it increases your character's physical defense and magical defense by 20% for 20 seconds, essentially making it a beefed up version of cheer. For Colo, I'd bring Guard, don't bring EE, you start with enough cost, you won't need it. And then some combination of the moves from your PvE set. Now for the Royal Protector, the 5th ring. This is when you start unlocking some really good abilities, so we're going to do a total ability set overhaul here. For PvE, I'd bring EE. Swap Divine Smash for Antagonize. Antagonize has an ability power of 180 and deals physical damage that uses both physical attack and defense to one enemy. Its added effect is that it fills your Unison gauge by 2, increases your status amulet resistance by 10 for 30 seconds, and increases your aggro for 10 seconds. This is a solid move. It has a low cooldown of 6 seconds and median low cost of 12. It has a high ability power, which is powered by your physical attack and defense stats, the ones you'll be boosting with your on-class gear. So you're going to see an increase in damage output. It also helps you slowly fill your Unison gauge, which is really helpful across the board. Monsters really help win guild battles, especially. The fact that it helps resist status amulets as well is great because there are lots of pesky monsters and monster effects out there that can get you down right quick. The only downside is the aggro build. Then swap Deadly Clash out for Dual Impact, which has an ability power of 130. It deals physical damage to one enemy twice. Its added effect is that it increases your physical attack by 10% for 20 seconds. It has the ability to combo with the effect that when used after Antagonize, it deals physical damage twice with an ability power of 140, a 10-point increase over the non-combo version. It increases the physical attack boost added effect to 20%, a 10% increase over the non-combo version. I chose this ability because it has a low cooldown of 8 seconds and a median cost of 15. It boosts your physical attack as well, which will help raise your damage output. Finally, it combos with Antagonize, which you have already added to your set, making it even more powerful. Finally, I'd swap Heaven's Breath for Rage Slash, which has an ability power of 160. It deals physical damage that penetrates damage reduction and damage reflection effects to one enemy. This move is awesome because it has a low cooldown of 7 seconds and a low cost of 12. It has a solid ability power which will allow it to do a good amount of damage, but the best part is that it breaks through damage reduction and reflection effects, allowing it to do the most damage possible. And also allowing you to destroy those trolls who feel the need to hold up mirrors and monsters. I'm looking at you, Amaterasu. For PvP, I would bring the same with potential cheer and or charisma swap. For Colo, guard in place of E, and then the rest of your PvE set. Now the Vanguard, the 6th ring. For PvE, I would bring EE, and the rest of the set honestly was a bit rough for me. There are a lot of solid moves, but in the end I chose to keep Antagonize and swap Dual Impact with Glistening Edge, which is usable when a sword is equipped as your main weapon. It targets one enemy with an ability power of 130 and deals physical damage that penetrates any nullifying or invulnerability effects 5 times. Its added effect is that it fills your character's Unison gauge by 3. It has a combo effect. When used after Iron Fortress, it deals physical damage with an ability power of 150, a 20-point increase over the non-combo version, that penetrates nullifying and invulnerability effects 5 times. Its added effect is that it fills the Unison gauge by 5, a 2-point increase over the non-combo version. I like Glistening Edge for several reasons. First, it has a low cooldown of 7 seconds and median cost of 15. It also has the ability to combo and become stronger so that it deals even more damage. Third, Glistening Edge can pierce through annoying nullifying and invulnerability effects, which is great for guild battle and when you're facing pesky monsters. Did I mention that it does this 5 times? Now that's awesome. And on top of all that, it gradually fills your Unison gauge, which works really well if your guild is running a cheer strat, if you use charisma, or your team needs a little boost during runs. Finally, I'd keep Rage Slash. Although Sword of Malice has a higher ability power, I feel like Rage Slash is more versatile since it penetrates damage reduction and reflection effects, which you see a lot of in guild battles and in quests. With that being said, Sword of Malice's added effect of adding a reliance state to your character that nullifies Unison gauge reduction one time can be very helpful in things like Hollow and guild battle, so you can consider swapping the moves out depending on the situation you find yourself in, and if you need a damage boost or added protection from Unison gauge reducing trolls, monsters included. For PvP, I bring the same as PvE with a potential cheer and or charisma swap. If you're facing a lot of guilds who use moves such as negative pressure, which reduce your Unison gauge and that of your allies, I consider bringing Imperial Territory, which applies a reliance state to one ally and their adjacent allies with a max of 3 allies that nullifies Unison gauge reduction one time as a defensive measure. After all, monsters win Unison battles. For Hollow, bring guard in place of EE, then the rest of your PvE set. And again, you might even want to consider Imperial Territory. And that concludes my Advanced Unison League Soldier's Guide. I hope you found my guide helpful and feel better prepared to play Unison League. I wish you all the best of luck and thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe and hit that bell so you know what's up, and leave a comment if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help, and we'll be adding more Unison League class guides over time to continue to expand your breadth of knowledge. Anything that's already up will be found in the description down below. Happy gaming, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye guys!